A son of embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of sexual assault. A lawsuit filed in LA Superior Court on Thursday accuses Christian King Combs of assaulting and possibly drugging a woman in December 2022.
In a new lawsuit, Sean Diddy Combs' second son, Christian Combs, is accused of sexually assaulting a crew member working on a super yacht. That suit was filed here in Los Angeles. His lawyers say she suffered when Christian Combs violently grabbed her and attempted to force her to perform a sex act.
The victim in the case has produced audio recordings that allegedly shows forcing himself upon her and that he wouldn't take no for an answer.
He was at one of, I believe to be one of P. Diddy's FreakOFFS.
Who's your daddy?
Shake the girls.
You know.
Girls.
Adults who are little people, or are you talking about minors?
Am I gonna get in trouble?
In a scene that felt ripped from a tabloid thriller, 26-year-old Christian King Combs abruptly stormed out of a courtroom, visibly shaking with rage. The youngest son of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs had just sat through hours of heated testimony when his lawyer uttered a phrase that set him off. Allegations of underage individuals at Diddy's secretive FreakOFFS parties.
Now a son of embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of sexual assault. A lawsuit filed in LA Superior Court on Thursday accuses Christian King Combs of assaulting and possibly drugging a woman in December 2022. The woman says it happened while she was working on a yacht that Diddy had chartered. This comes just over a week after homes owned by Diddy were raided in LA and Miami as part of a federal human trafficking investigation. Neither the attorneys for Combs or Diddy have commented on the new legal complaint.
Christian jumped to his feet, cursing at his attorney before rushing out, leaving onlookers stunned. The explosive moment was caught on camera and immediately went viral. Why would a courtroom mention trigger such an emotional outburst? The hint is in those bombshell words and the dark story that lurks behind them.
In a new lawsuit, Sean Diddy Combs' second son, Christian Combs, is accused of assaulting a crew member working on a super yacht. That suit was filed here in Los Angeles. Attorneys representing former yacht stewardess Grace O'Markey say she was sexually assaulted on board a yacht when she was 25 years old in December of 2022 by Diddy's son, rapper Christian Combs. They say his dad, Sean Combs, leased the yacht and had full control of its staff and the premises. O'Markey's lawyers say Combs turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. They stated, quote, "Defendant Sean Combs fostered and encouraged an environment of debauchery. There was always a party atmosphere filled with suspected sex workers, suspected laced alcohol, violence, and sheer disrespect of women and the yacht's crew."
To understand Christian's reaction, we must rewind into the heart of the scandal. For years, Sean Diddy Combs has denied ever exploiting anyone. But in civil court filings and federal indictment, a chilling portrait emerged of what prosecutors call freak-off parties, private adult-themed events allegedly thrown by the rap mogul.
Contains photos of bruises that O'Markey's lawyers say she suffered when Christian Combs violently grabbed her and attempted to force her to perform a sex act. They also included a transcript of an audio recording which they say captures O'Markey being forced to consume suspected laced shots of tequila.
These weren't ordinary parties. Survivors describe sprawling mansions turned into nonstop chaos. Imagine floors of guests in various states of undress, walls of mirrors capturing every act, mountains of intoxicants fueling nonstop debauchery. Even Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie has testified that he forced her into inappropriate situations at events she calls FreakOFFS, complete with hired performers and hidden cameras. One CNN video showed Diddy actually beating Cassie, a scene she says fits her description of a freak-off encounter gone violently wrong.
The woman says it all happened during what was supposed to be a wholesome family excursion with Christian and his father.
Check this out, y'all. This is Diddy. This is my son, King Combs. And I've been watching my pop since I was a kid. And I'm proud of you, boy.
She says Diddy was the one chartering the yacht for the trip.
This lawsuit is bad for Diddy. He may be able to get out of it, but the optics are terrible when he's already facing a criminal investigation. This may be the nail in the coffin for him.
These disturbing allegations paint a picture of extreme abuse. And in that world, the idea of underage participants being mixed in is even more horrifying. Then, in October 2024, the scandal took a nightmarish turn. Attorney Tony Busby held a press conference revealing that 120 new accusers had come forward against Diddy. including 25 who were underage at the time. According to Busby, one of them was just 9 years old.
It was at I believe to be one of P. Diddy's FreakOFFS.
She believes she witnessed underage victims at one of Diddy's 2018 parties.
I'm looking like, are those midgets? Because people were it's people over them, like it's people trying to hide what they're doing.
Adults who are little people, or are you talking about minors?
Am I gonna get in trouble? I don't want to say I witnessed any of that crazy stuff, but we all have common sense. Little people that's not supposed to be there.
You're talking about underage people.
It's a shame.
Is this woman, Tania, is she really saying that there were minors involved in these freak-offs?
That is exactly what she's saying, Billy.
The media scribbled down his words, drugging victims, recording inappropriate encounters, and using a network of influence to exploit girls. It sounded like something out of a crime novel. Diddy's lawyers were quick to fire back, insisting all claims were false and that no underage individuals were ever involved, calling it a reckless media circus. But the fact that these accusations even exist has sent shockwaves through the industry. The addition of children in these allegations raises the stakes from a sordid celebrity scandal to a potential criminal empire.
So I don't think we've had a chance to talk about this lawsuit, and now that the news is reporting that Christian has been served with papers here, why is that significant?
Well, it's significant because anytime that they have the opportunity to continue to remind the public of the malfeasance of Diddy, of Diddy's son, of anything related to inappropriate behavior, it helps. It helps the government continue to, lay out the narrative of how bad Diddy was, how bad Diddy's son was. So I think it's consistent with, what they've been doing, putting it out there and really destroying his character. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything to deserve it. I'm saying it's consistent with what they're doing, whether it's the government or the lawyers that are suing him civilly.
And now, having heard these new charges, everyone wonders, what did Christian hear that made him snap? Meanwhile, Christian himself has been facing disturbing accusations. In April 2024, news broke of a lawsuit by 25-year-old Grace O'Marcaigh, a stewardess who worked aboard a luxury yacht that Diddy had rented for a family holiday in late 2022. Grace's story is grim. What was sold to her as a wholesome charter turned into a constant party. She describes a carousel of beautiful young women boarding the yacht, models she believed were hired companions, along with celebrities and heavy drink. She says Christian boarded intoxicated and began paying unwelcome attention to her. According to her suit, he pressured her to take a shot of what she suspected was spiked tequila, then became aggressive. Grace claims he groped her, blocking her from leaving, and even tore off her clothes in the attempt. She says she fought him off and fled when another crew member walked in. The lawsuit even included photos of bruises on her arm as evidence. Diddy and Christian's attorney hotly denied these allegations, calling them lewd and meritless. But the graphic details only reinforce how warped these environments were. Notably, Grace's account mentions endless partying and even a birthday celebration on board.
Hard just to get him to call somebody. It's too much work. So happy birthday, Christian. Thank you everybody for coming and cheers. 27.
Eerily similar to what other accusers have called freak-off culture. With Christian accused of inappropriate conduct in such a setting, the plot thickens around this family voyage. So, what triggered Christian's fiery exit from the courtroom? While no official transcript is available, reports and cell phone clips indicate it happened moments after his lawyer referenced the freak-off allegations. According to sources close to the trial, as the defense was going over Grace's claims, the attorney casually mentioned elements of Diddy's party world, possibly even the word underage. That's reportedly when Christian lost his temper. Witnesses say he glared at his own attorney, shouted something like, "You said what?" and abruptly stood up. The courtroom gallery fell silent as Christian, red-faced, spat back at the lawyer and bolted out the door. Cameras caught the stunned reactions of jurors and spectators. Of course, without official records, we can't know exactly what was said, but it was clear that topic was unspeakable to him. This dramatic scene, replayed endlessly online, leaves a burning question. What exactly did he think he would hear at that moment? It's telling that the freak-off allegations also touch other members of the Combs circle. Beyond Christian's own suit, separate legal filings allege that Justin Combs, Christian's brother, was a prime facilitator, even accused of repeatedly soliciting escorts, underage girls, and performers to supply these parties. Another complaint suggests high-level accomplices, hidden cameras in every room, and a sense of untouchable power. One lawsuit ominously compares Combs' inner circle to an organized crime family, with operatives turning on each other. Whether or not all of these accounts hold up, they weave a narrative of a family deeply enmeshed in a predatory network.
The father of 7 also broke his silence on social media, posting these photos of his 17-month-old daughter with the caption, quote, "Happy Easter from baby love." Diddy's 26-year-old son, Christian, who was handcuffed and questioned during the LA raid, also posted for the first time. He says, quote, "Stop with the caps," which is slang for lies.
So now investigators are examining everyone from Diddy's studio executives to Christian's friends. No one in the Combs orbit is above suspicion, and all of it circles back to that one courtroom outburst. Behind the scenes, law enforcement has been quietly gathering evidence. The March 2024 raids on Diddy's mansions were nothing short of cinematic. FBI and Homeland Security agents in tactical gear stormed the LA and Miami homes, hauling out dumpsters full of evidence. Court records show what they found. Hundreds of inappropriate videos, some involving women who were reportedly at these freak-off events, and astonishingly, 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricants. The media fixated on those oil barrels. Agents later remarked they were convinced the oil was for the freak-off shows.
There's a whole public relations side of this. Diddy is going to want to put up a front of an innocent person. And sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Right now, investigators are going through the evidence that they seized. What they're really looking for are videos of the alleged sexual abuse. If prosecutors have that information, we're talking about days or weeks before Diddy is charged. He may go to prison for the rest.
Investigators also seized dozens of guns and stacks of cash. It all points to a long-planned operation. In September 2024, a federal grand jury delivered the indictment: racketeering conspiracy, exploitation-related crimes, and transportation to engage in illicit activity. The feds painted Combs as a mob boss of exploitation. They even suggested this might just be the start, warning of possible additional charges against co-conspirators. The pieces are on the table, and the question is how they fit. Meanwhile, the story has taken on a life of its own online. Hashtags like Tarinchan FreakOFFS Party and King Combs explodes have trended across social media. Memes of Christians sprinting out the courtroom mix humor with horror. On rap forums, users analyze lyrics for hidden clues about these allegations. Conspiracy threads and live streams debate whether this is all a setup or the dawning of justice. Even mainstream pundits can't look away. Morning shows have debated it as if it were a political scandal. The wildest moment came when a Florida civil suit, filed in April 2025, lurched into headlines claiming that Beyonce, Jay-Z, and LeBron James were in the room at a freak-off.
That he actually partook in these freak-offs and potentially drugged women. This is something Lil Rod is saying. How would the feds go about proving something like that? I know that's the pattern we've seen across a lot of these civil suits, that women allege Diddy, for instance, drugged them, but now Lil Rod's also pointing the finger at Justin Combs.
According to that allegation, Beyonce asked incredulously why a man was wearing a mask at her child's party. Diddy's team immediately dismissed it as fantasy, and the accuser later removed the celebrity names. But the damage was done. The rumor mill was relentless. It's as if every legendary name associated with Diddy is dragged under a microscope. The public fascination shows no sign of slowing. Now the countdown is on for the May 2025 trial, a courtroom duel that promises to be explosive. Prosecutors are said to be lining up dozens of witnesses to testify about freak-off encounters. FBI agents will detail the raid, and forensic video experts might even explain the seized tapes. Combs' defense will counter that all those parties were consensual club nights blown out of proportion. Christian Combs himself might even be called to the stand, forced to answer what really happened on that yacht and in that court. No matter what, one certainty looms. When Christian bolted out of court, he lit a fuse. This family drama has become a criminal saga under the glare of the spotlight. As the trial date approaches, every viewer is left wondering what explosive revelations are still to come and whether any secret will remain safe behind closed doors. The story is far from over. The camera is rolling, and everyone will be watching the next act.